Good evening and welcome back to the short round, all being brought to you by Wicked Fast Attire. Of course, streaming live right here on True Cowboy Nation and on KFY in 1043 The River. I'm Katie Dixon, and joining me for the last time from Las Vegas, PRCA bull rider Jay Morrow and PRCA announcer Chad Nicholson. Gentlemen, wow, what a final night we had last night in the Thomas & Mack Arena. Lots of thrills, lots of spills, world champions crowned, and we even had a proposal as well. Tough Cooper proposing to longtime girlfriend Tiffany in the arena. I think that's the first time that we've actually seen that happen in the Thomas & Mack Arena. So before we get started, I want to say congratulations to Tough and Tiffany as well. I don't think I've ever seen Tough Cooper so nervous in my life. Jay, you were there. Let me ask you quick, what was it like in the arena when Tough proposed?
He was sure shaking out for sure, but he definitely stole the show at the end. Boyd couldn't even sell it properly for Boyd Palmamus. That was his last performance in the Thomas & Mack as he now goes to the NFR Thomas & Mack general manager. But it was an awesome experience, and congratulations to both of them.
All right, let's jump straight into this with the bareback riding. Now, we had a tie in the final round, round 10. Stephen Dent, Mason Clements tied, but Tim O'Connell claiming his second world title. Chad, how exciting was that?
You know, Tim O'Connell's just a machine. Here he is, second year, odds on. He had even odds going into the NFR 10 days ago. $371,416, second gold buckle. And, of course, Richie championed there with $268,000. That's over a $100,000 difference. That's how awesome Tim O'Connell is. Jay?
Yeah, the 26-year-old Iowa native comes from Zwingli. I've known Tim since he was 12 years old. I know his brother Will O'Connell, who's a picket man, rode with me riding bulls for a while. His dad Ray, who's also a picket man. It runs in the family. But Tim's only been riding bucket horses about 7 years now. Most people don't realize that. And now he's a two-time consecutive NFR average champion and two-time gold buckle, both taken back to Iowa. So Tim right now is on a roll, and he's going to go for 3 and 4, and he's got a few more years ahead of him to look at the leaderboard.
That he does. And, you know, the average played a huge role in this year's NFR in pretty much every event. It was so close. Let's talk steer wrestling now. And this was an event that we had a close eye on all week. Now, Tyler Wagger's pack, wow, round 10. Talk about a steer that stopped, still catches it, drops it in 3.2. You know, what a way to go out. But it was Tyler Pearson that won the world title just ahead of Erickson.
3-2, I believe that tied the arena record too, there at the Thomas & Mack. As I said at the beginning of the week, and I called it again, we're going to break all kinds of records. Well, maybe we didn't break them all, but we tied 2 of them. Tyler Pearson snuck up there with $265,000. He was quietly making noise all week long. My main man from Elko, Nevada, Dakota Eldridge, was the Mr. Consistency by winning the average. Awful proud of him, given that I announced his hometown rodeo there in Elko, Nevada. So steer wrestling did not disappoint.
And there are a lot played out in the previous rounds. Round 2, Tyler Wagger's pack misses his steer. That changed the whole course of the average and changed Tyler Wagger's pack, the defending world champions, chance for world title. In round 9, you have Ty Erickson, misses his steer, has to hang on to a tail. It's a 24-second time. Takes him down to 6 in the average. That just slowly started opening doors for Tyler Pearson, who went out and did it last night in a 5.2-second run, who clinched him the second in the average and the world title. The Louisville, Mississippi Cowboy gets his first world title, and he placed in 5 rounds. Though he never won a round, he was consistent through the whole NFR. He was on Scooter, AQH Horse of the Year, and this was their backup horse since Cadillac, the horse that all 4 of them, Ty Erickson, Wagger's pack, Irwin, and Pearson got hurt 2 weeks prior, comes in. And I punched some numbers early this morning. Overall, throughout the average and all 10 rounds, that horse Scooter won $518,000 over the course of 10 days. Take that times 25%, which is the money that Kyle Irwin, co-owner with Pearson, wins. That is $65,000 each they will win. They take home the NFR.
Wow, Las Vegas was certainly kind to those guys. And Scooter, what an impressive horse as well. Running out of those chutes 4 times a night for 10 days straight just goes to show why he has been Horse of the Year so many times. And of course, there was only less than 2,000 between Pearson and Erickson when all was said and done. Such a tight race. In the team roping, now it was Garrett Rogers and Jake Miner who won round 10 with 4.1. But coming out on top, Chad, was Eric Rogers and Corey Petska, both ending the year with 265,000.
They did, and in just style. I mean, those guys are so consistent in the arena. They're hard to beat on any given day. Dreggers and Nagata, $254,000, so we weren't that far apart between 1 and 2. And Masters and Graves win the average on that. Team roping, just one of those wild events every single year. You know, back in our first show that we had, we were asking each other, so you're going to take in the team roping? I don't know. Who do you take? But obviously Rogers and Petska came out on top.
Now, 2 weeks ago, I did pick Eric Rogers and Petska to win it. And the reason why is because they've been roping together 5 times in a row now at the NFR. Petska's the 14-time NFR qualifier. So I got lucky on that pick. But, Chad, you were right about breaking records. In the team roping, they broke another record. They won $265,000 apiece this year. That is their record set in the team roping. But the Round Rock, Arizona Indian native Eric Rogers takes it back to his reservation for the first gold buckle ever in that area. And is overall, if you're just coming here to watch a team roping in one round, it wasn't good watching. 9.6 took 6th place last night because people are pushing barriers. They're going for broke. They had nothing to lose. So they're trying to get round money. So overall, team roping round 10 wasn't the best over the course of 10 days. It was good watching. We got world champion, and we'll see what happens again next year.
I think I'm just going to call it even between you two. You guys both, place good bets, if we'll call it. We're just going to call it even. Let's talk about the saddle bronc riding now. And, this year, I have to say, the NFR this year, there wasn't one event that I wasn't glued to. In past years, we've had events where we know the winners ahead of time. There's a clear lead. This year's NFR, it came down to the wire. It came down to round 10. And even then, people are punching numbers, and we still were waiting to find out who was going to win it. Now, in the saddle bronc riding, Teos Muncie wins round 10, 87.5 points, but it was the 19-year-old Ryder Wright. Oh, my goodness, I get goosebumps, winning the world title. Chad, how exciting is this?
That is the 5th world title, 5th gold buckle that will go to Milford, Utah, right there to the Wright family. 2 for Daddy Cody, 1 for Uncle Spencer, 1 for Uncle Jesse. Collectively, the Wright brothers have won. This stat goes back to the fall prior to the NFR, but they've won about $6.5 million collectively together as a family riding broncs. Yeah, and it was just amazing watching Ryder, how much he looked like his Uncle Spencer, just plowing through each round, being consistent, boom, 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 and winning. I mean, it's just the youngest guy out there to win. Teos Muncie, I believe he was 19 too when he won, but I think Ryder's got him beat in months. So $284,000, my pick from the get-go. Way to go, Utah.
And this came down to punching the numbers at the end. Sitting in the arena, I had no idea with my numbers who won the world. It came down to every rider. When Teos Muncie went 87.5, that put him number 1 in the round. So we had to wait through the numbers. Brody Crest goes 86 points. He's number 2, number 1 in the average. Only got to stay on all 10 head. And then you have Coburn Bradshaw. He's 86.5. We're like, all right, how's that going to play? So it all depends on how these guys place in the round. If they were to beat Teos, or Teos would have fell off, that would have changed because Ryder only won by $2,600. So we didn't know until the very end, to the buckle presentation, who won it. But the 19-year-old from Utah, he gets it done.
And, of course, that was a very close call because Ryder missed his mark out in the final round. It went to replay on the TV. His right leg was fine. It was that left leg. That was the tough call for the judges. Tie down roping time, and this one, once again, all came down to the wire. Marcus Costa won round 10, 7.8 seconds, and secured that world title there with that win as well to win both the average and the world title.
This reminds me of last night. There was a blonde that asked me, how many South Americans does it take to change a light bulb? A Brazilian. That's who won. Marcus Costa, absolutely, quietly making noise all week long. Here we're talking about Tuff Cooper and Caleb Schmidt and all these guys. Marcus Costa just pumping right along there, 7 and 8 $317,000 last night, or for the year. He wins it all. And Tough Cooper right there with $301,000.
And this is another event that came down right to the last two tie-down ropers. All right, Marcus Costa had a calf that they have not placed on or even tied coming in. They had no time in a late, 18-second run with this calf, so not a good calf to draw. Didn't bother Marcus. He backed in there. He was reserve world champion last year, so the pressure really didn't get to him. He goes 7.8 to win the round. That put the pressure on Tough Cooper. So Tough had to go in there, and Tough had to place to win the world. It didn't happen. That calf kicked. He goes 11 seconds, and it worked out for Marcus. He is your average champ, your round 10 champ, and your world champ.
Certainly a very exciting night in the tie-down roping and for Marcos as well. Now in the barrel racing, wow. Talk about a fantastic round 10. Haley Kinzel comes out, almost breaks her arena record that she set earlier on in the week. Ran a 13.17 second run last night to win round 10. You know what? It helped her out. Getting closer to that world title, didn't quite make it. Nellie Miller silently, quietly coming up. Consistency, consistency, consistency. We've talked about it all week to win not only the world title and the average title as well. Chad?
Yeah, and I've had the pleasure of watching Nellie Miller grow up in California high school rodeo. And she comes from a great family. She always has ridden really good horses. She's an excellent horsewoman, and it's certainly her cool head prevailed all week long in her experience. $308,000. Congratulations to the Cottonwood, California cowgirl, Nellie Miller.
Nellie Miller's been gone from the NFR since 2010. She did not have a good NFR then. She comes in here, and in 10 days, she wins $178,000, and with a little horse called Sister, a little dark roan, and she won the average last night. That last run was it. You have Haley Kinzel comes in there with 13.17 to win the round, put the pressure on, because Haley had to place in that average, and so did Nellie. Nellie wins the average by 0.08 of a second over Ivy Conrado. So they come down right to numbers, and Nellie wins the world by a couple thousand. Great watching, great entertainment. And it had me on the edge of my seat all night.
And, of course, Schuster just didn't have the week that she wanted coming in, leading the world, But that's how this goes. This is rodeo. This is the name of the game. Bull riding time, gentlemen. You both picked Sage Kimzey to win the world. Now, it did come close. He won round 10 last night, 88 points. There was a chance that he could have been overtaken. It didn't happen. He came out on top again, winning his 4th consecutive world title. And Chad, he also broke another record as well.
Yeah, he did. 4th consecutive title, and the only bull rider to ever break $400,000 in a season. The man is amazing. Go ahead and corner off a part of the Pro Rodeo Hall of Fame for Sage Kimzey, because he ain't done yet. There's no telling what he can accomplish here and how much he's going to raise the bar. How much this raises the bar on PRCA bull riders. We've been, for the last several years, people are going, well, the PRCA guys can't ride with the PBR guys. You know what? That's changing. Sage Kimzey and Trey Benton and these guys are raising the bar, just like Dusty Tuckness has for the bullfighters when it comes to athleticism, being in shape, and going to that next level, and not just going out and cruising along. As an announcer, I've seen it all happen for the best seat in the house. This Sage Kimzey is the real deal.
Well, Sage Kimzey's only 23 years old, from Strong City, Oklahoma. There's no telling what he can do with his with his career. He has no significant injuries that's going to, deter him from being and chasing Donnie Gay's 8-time world title. He won $192,000 this year. He won 3 go-rounds. He set that record. Not only did he smash his own record, $327,000, you want to compare to the PBR, and I don't want to get into a match here, who's better on what, but Sage Kimzey won the CBR average, the CBR world title. He won the Extreme Bulls, the finale. He won the NFR average. He won the Calgary. You name it, he won it this year. He won Salt Lake City Games. I added all of his numbers up. Coming to the NFR, plus the NFR, he won $1.5 million this year, more than anybody else has ever won in the sport of bull riding in one single year. Now, he had the All-American, he won $433,000 in one ride. So last night, he capped it off. He had a bull, a 4L and Diamond S that's been unrented, named Girl Molly. He had the world won before he nodded. He knew it. That's not how you want to end. That's not how you want to sell the NFR on night 10. Sage did it in style the way Sage Kids knows how to do it, winning round 10, 88 points.
That he certainly did. And this year, the bull riding was exciting every single night. You know, there's nights where one or two guys ride. Not this year. This year, all 15 guys were exceptional in the bull riding. So congratulations to Sage Kimsey. All around, it came down to the wire. We've been watching this one closely as well. Both you guys stuck with Tough Cooper after we recapped round 9. You stuck with him, and you know what? He prevailed, winning, beating his brother-in-law, you know, not by a lot, but he's your all-around champion.
Yes, he is. And I accept defeat because I did take Trevor Brazil in the beginning. But congratulations to Tough Cooper. What a finals. What a way to end it last night. What a great competitor. You know, when you're on top, people tend to just nitpick and pick out every little thing, especially now on social media. And, you know, we all make some missteps along the way. And, you know, I'm no different than you two or Tough Cooper. And Tough has overcome a lot of those things. I'm glad he has. He comes from a great family. He's a great talent. And I think he's an excellent role model for our industry. So congratulations to Tough Cooper, $341,560 for the year.
Yeah, last night, you know, Tough loses the tie-down calf open world title, but his last run was very significant. He went 11 seconds in his last run to catch all 10 head. That put him second in the average standings, making $54,000. That was enough to eclipse his brother-in-law, Trevor, the all-around champion as well, to get his first gold buckle. So he's in the family. Tough Cooper, his dad, multiple-time all-around. His brother-in-law, 23-time all-around. Now Tough Cooper has the gold buckle that says Cowboy, all-around champion. So hats off to Tough Cooper. Congratulations. We have a new king in all-pro rodeo, and next year starts here in about 2 weeks.
Next year started about 2 weeks ago. But it was such a fantastic night. And I've also got to say, huge shout out to our pickup men. Last night, they were put to work. My goodness, there were a few hang-ups last night. Them, of course, top of their game. Pickup men, amazing. And, of course, our bullfighters as well. Without them, we couldn't do what we do. And, of course, you bull riders couldn't do it, you know, without them. So big thank you to all of them. Jay and Chad, thank you so much for joining us again this year. It's been a long 10 days, but here we are. Don't forget to follow Jay and Chad online. Now, Chad, you have your announcer school coming up February 1st to the 3rd in Fort Worth, and people can enroll now by going to chadnicholson.com.
Yes, so just shoot me a message on Facebook. Follow me on Facebook and go to chadnicholson.com. I've got 3 or 4 seats left. I can't remember, but I only take 12 students a year. So this will be our 13th annual. I'm proud to say I've got 14 guys in PRCA right now. That isn't my job to recruit them there. They just end up there because that's the kind of school we put on. So if you are interested in learning more about rodeo or getting a rodeo college education or becoming an announcer or knowing how to talk rodeo properly, come see.
Highly recommend Chad School. And, of course, follow Jay online. Jay, you got a big year ahead of you this year. And, of course, you keep all your fans up to date on your Facebook page, Jay Morrow, Professional Bull Rider.
Well, 2018, just around the corner in January. I'm off till February, healing up from a couple injuries myself, but the New Year's around the corner, and a lot of us ready to get back at it.
So excited. Thank you once again, both of you gentlemen, for joining us this year. I want to say a very special thank you to Wicked Fast Attire, major sponsor of the short round. Check them out online or follow them on Facebook as well. For Jay, Chad, and myself, Katie Dixon, thanks for joining us this year on the short round, and be watching because we'll be back next year with more rodeo news right here on the short round.